Okay, so today's one-day build is going to be a little bit different. Alright, so what we're going to try to make today is something that I used to do a lot when I was like a kid. That is to make a bow. And I guess like a lot of kids make bows when they were young, but this is not like the average bow that a kid makes. Because the average bow, I guess, is like you just grab a stick and put a string around it and that's a bow. But I was like, that didn't really look like the movies when I was a kid. So what I did was I would spend like hours just going through different websites and looking at like how to make proper bows. Actually, my dad printed like, I think that's like 100 pages worth of text when it comes to like the specifics of making a like proper bow. So we actually managed to make a few bows that work really well, but they don't look that great. They work well, but they don't look that great. So what I'm going to try to do today is try to build a bow, like a proper like Game of Thrones bow. I've been watching like a lot of Game of Thrones lately as well, so I've been getting like excited about building something like this. And I'm not really sure whether I'll actually be able to do it in just one day, because it is a lot of work, but we're gonna try it. First we need to just pick up the wood, pick up some tools. Alright, so this is the first stop. We're at my parents' house and we're gonna pick up some of the wood that we're gonna need. Alright, so this is the wood that we're gonna use, and this has been like sitting here for, I think it's since 2015, so a couple of years. Alright, so now we have all of the wood here in the car. Right now it's like 10:49, so it's been almost like an hour just getting all of this stuff ready and getting it fixed. But now we have all the stuff that we need. So now we're just going to go up and then we're going to start the build. Alright, so it's currently 1:20 p.m, which means that I don't have that much time left today to actually get this built. But like I said at the start, I don't think this is actually going to be just a one-day build. It's probably going to take me at least 2 days. But we're going to try our best and see if we can get it done in one day. So this is the wood that we have. This is one of the sticks. And I don't know if you can tell, but like the end of the stick here, it's like it's got a bit of a bend to it. This one would be really good to use because it's like so thin that I wouldn't have to do much with it. But I think that because of that bend at the end, it makes it a bit risky to start using that, because that might not actually be that great. This big one, on the other hand, looks, as far as I can tell, pretty good, but I'll have to like split this wood again in order to be able to use it, and splitting wood is usually a bit tricky. But yeah, I think that's our best bet. I'm gonna give the small one a look again and see if I can use that maybe, but I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to end up splitting the big one. So we're gonna start by just checking this out. So that was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be, but I had to split it like 3 times because the first piece that I got wasn't that great, but now we have one piece here that's looking pretty good. So now we can get to actually like shaping it and making it look like an actual bow. So now the bow looks something like this. I've taken a fair bit off here and a fair bit off here as well. I've also been able to take off some of the bark, and I've left a little bit for the handle, but it still doesn't really bend at all, which means that I'm gonna have to take off a lot more. The thing is that I don't really want to take too much off with the axe, because the axe is quite like heavy duty. So that means that one misstep right now, one chop basically that's too deep, is gonna leave the bow pretty much broken and like not useful at all. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm getting like a blister on my pinky here, and getting blisters here. Got a blister about to start on my thumb. There you go. You can see that maybe. And we've only gotten like the axe work done so far, so there's a lot more work that's gonna do a lot more damage to my hands. But yeah, let's get started with like shaping the bow. Alright, so now we've drawn a little bit of like the shape of it. So we want it to go thick here and then go thinner and thinner and thinner out until the end. And I've put this string here in place just to kind of keep track of where the middle is. Alright, so now we're just gonna cut that out sparingly, I might add, because we don't want to take too much off. Like, you can't put wood back, so we want to be quite careful when we take this off. But we're gonna start with that, and then hopefully that's gonna make the bow bend a little bit better, and then we're gonna go into like more of the detail work. It's 4 p.m. right now, and I've chopped a little bit more off on the actual bow and shaped it a little bit, so now it's starting to look a bit more like the way that I kind of want it to look. And now it's time for the like tough part, which is going to be to take the knife and like basically shape it more properly with the knife and make it look better. But I know this is going to be a lot of work because I have a lot that I need to take off on this piece of wood. So yeah, I'm gonna start doing that now. We'll see how far I get. It's 4 p.m. like I said, so I don't know how much more I'm gonna like feel like doing today. When I started this, I knew that it was gonna take probably more than one day. I'm happy with like how far I've gotten so far, but we'll see how far we get. So now I'm bruised and battered, but the bow is looking a little bit better. I've got it like shaped a little bit better. I've gone on it now with like the more rough file thing, and it's getting better. It's still like pretty much not bending, but I think like each time I go at it with the file, it keeps getting like a little bit more bendy. So it's just gonna be a matter of like spending a bit of time like filing it down, grinding it down to the right size and the right like what's called draw weight. So basically how hard it is to pull the string back. I'm just gonna have to like file it down a little bit more and test it and see until I get to like a point where I feel like it's easy enough to flex it back. Then I'm gonna have to like make it even so that it bends evenly, and then we're pretty much done. But now it's like 8:30 p.m. and I'm pretty beat, so I feel like I'm gonna continue this tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be able to finish it in the morning. My thumb is not looking great. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a big blister on it. I had a blister on my pinky, on my like here, got blisters everywhere and my hands are like super painful. So this is a bit harder than doing the one-day builds, or harder on the body than doing like the one-day builds when I program something. But I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm really like excited and looking forward to actually trying to shoot this bow and see how well it does. But for now I'm just gonna have to pick all the like tools up and bring it back inside, and then I'm just gonna chill for tonight. Okay, so now it's day 2 on this build, and I think we're gonna have to spend probably another like 3, maybe 4 hours just sanding this down or filing this down to be the right width so that we can pull it back easily. After that we're gonna go at it with the sandpaper and like make it smooth and nice. So yeah, I'm just gonna get back into that right now. My hands are sore as anything from yesterday, so it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle to get this finished, but I don't think we have that much left, so we're just gonna get to it and see how long it takes. I came out here on Wednesday and I'm gonna stay till Friday, so Friday is tomorrow, and it's so typical of me to like go out here thinking that I'm gonna relax and then spend my day like breaking my back trying to get a bow built. So I've been like, right now it's 1:30 p.m. and I think there's still probably another good 1 to 2 hours left to just shave the last bit of it off for it to actually be able to just bend, and then probably another 2-3 hours of just sanding it to make it look the way that I want it. So we're looking at probably close to like 5 hours of work, and yeah, that's pretty typical. I go out thinking that I'm gonna relax, and then I end up spending all my time building a bow or doing something. So yeah, oh well. We're gonna be done pretty soon, so I'm gonna get to it. Okay, so right now I've put a string on it and then kind of put it in a flexed position, and I'm trying to look to see like unevenness, and you can see like this one looks like it's bending a little bit more than this one, so I'm gonna have to go and like scrape a little bit more off, maybe here somewhere I think, to make that bend a little bit more. But other than that, it looks pretty good. It's still like super stiff, so I'm probably gonna have to take a little bit more off just to make it bend a little bit more easy. But right now it looks pretty good. Alright, so now we have the bow set up in almost the full like draw length, or whatever that would be called, and as you can tell, this side is bending a lot more than this side. You might be able to tell, I don't know. Right now it feels like we need to take more off up here, but no more on the belly here. Like that bends quite well, I think, so we don't really need to take any more off there. We just need to take some more off here in the bend, so that just to make that bend a little bit more even. And after that I think that's pretty much gonna be done and ready to like shoot a couple arrows and then see how it feels, see if we should make it a little bit lighter, and then it's time to like sand it and make it look nice. But it's a lot of work. It's 2:30 right now, so this last hour's just been spent like fiddling away trying to make it look nicer. But now it looks really cool. Like it's nice to see that it's actually like a real bow right now, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, now I have to fix that last bit of stuff, and then hopefully the next time I'll see you I'll be able to actually shoot it. Alright, so I think it's good to go now. I've put a string on it and I've got an arrow, and I'm gonna try shooting it just to see like how it feels, and then I'm gonna watch the video back and kind of see how the bow flexes. I'm not gonna pull it all the way because it still feels pretty risky, but I'm gonna pull it a little bit of the way and just kind of get a feel for how the bow is right now. and then we'll see what changes we might have to make. Alright, so now we have it to a point where it looks pretty even, and when we flex it or like pull it back, it looks pretty even as well. So now the only thing that's pretty much left to do is just to sand this down and make it look really smooth and nice. That's the last part, and then the whole thing is going to be done. Then we're going to shoot some arrows with it, and also I'm thinking I'm going to probably put some oil on it to make it look a little bit darker, and maybe that'll look good, I don't know. But yeah, we're getting close, and it's 4 p.m. right now, so that means it's been like close to, I think, 14 hours of work to get this done. But I'm really happy with it, and I'm excited to like start shooting it. So I'm just gonna sand it down and make it look better, and then we're gonna try it out. Alright, so now I've finished like the sanding, or well, almost finished the sanding, and you should just feel how smooth this is. There's something like so satisfying about like sanding this down from being like super rough to being like this smooth. Like, it's super smooth right now. It looks really good and it feels great to hold. It's like I said, really satisfying just to hold it and kind of look at it. What I've done is I've added, I don't know how well this will show up, but there's like an edge here that fades out into the handle. Same thing on this side, there's an edge that kind of fades out into the handle, which I really like. I also kept on the sides, it's kind of a little bit squared here, and I kind of like that too. You could make this a bit rounder and then make it fade to the edges, but I kind of liked, this was the exact thing that I was going for. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. And also I left on the outside, or on the back of the bow, I left some of the bark on. So when I sanded it, I sanded away some of the bark and then left some of it on, which kind of gives it this, I don't know, it's a different look, and I kind of like it. The last thing now is just to make the real string for it, but I'm gonna try to shoot it and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so here we go, we have an arrow and we're gonna just shoot it and see kind of how fast it goes, and a little bit how the bow feels. I haven't pulled it full, like all the way yet, but I mean, you should feel this, it feels great. Alright, let's shoot it. Okay, it works. So now it's just left to make the actual string, and the last little finish that I'll do probably later tonight is going to be to put some oil on it to make it look a little bit darker. But then I think it's pretty much finished.
Okej, Kara, nu fraktar dig.
Alright, so now we have the loops on the end of the string, both here and here. So now we can remove it and try to put it on the actual bow, and we'll see what it ends up looking like. But here we go, here's the string. That's what it looks like. It's not a piece of art, but it looks good enough, I think. Right, so that looks pretty good straight away. Now we just have to put on some like wax on the string to make it stick together a little bit more. But yeah, that's like one of those infinite loops, so there's no knots anywhere. And yeah, looks pretty good. Alright, so I left the bow out to dry overnight and I put some oil in it, and this is what the bow looks like now. And now we're gonna try it out and try to shoot this watermelon and see what that looks like in super slow motion. Let's go. Alright, so that's it for this one-day build. I'm really happy with the finished product, and I'm gonna have some fun using it now. So I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a bit of a different one compared to my normal one-day builds, but I hope it was kind of interesting to see something different. Anyway, that's it for this one.